Nurse. Nurse?
Sexy nurse?
What's Maddie going as?
Cat!
Trevor! Trevor's in the trees!
I got this.
Accidents can be chaotic. Luckily, you can capture exactly what happened with our Amy Access app.
You can come down now, Neil.
I don't think I can.
You're with Amy.
Well, hello everybody and welcome along to the Country Championships for 2015. My name, Peter Jolly. Great to have your company over the next 4 weeks as we broadcast the best talent in Country Rugby League. To kick off the program this afternoon, we're joined by Terry Quinn, the CEO of the Country Rugby League. And I asked Terry, what can fans expect over the next 4 weeks?
I think we're going to see some great rugby league, showcasing what's happening in the different regions around the area at the moment. Today is the kick-off of our championships, which has some good sides here today. Canberra will be strong, so will Central Coast, but I think South Coast will be strong. The unknown side is North Coast. All these sides will go through to the next round because it's sort of a tiered competition this year, and these four sides get another opportunity in a couple of weeks' time, which is great. So they'll play the the winners of next week. But it gives them an opportunity to showcase their ability and puts them in front of the selectors for a lot longer.
And of course, this is the pinnacle. Doesn't get much better than this for Country Rugby League mid-season?
No, it doesn't. And as I said, we're showcasing the best we got, and you'll see some great football here today, I'm sure. A bit wet conditions, but that's the way it is. It's even better for footy, I think. But we'll see some great football and great contests here today.
And mate, sponsors also play a big part. Amy's your major sponsor?
Amy is. They've been with us a long time, and we're very grateful for what they do for us. And so is, VB's been with us a long time, but these competitions are sponsored by Amy, and they tip a lot of money. And they enjoy the exposure they get from it, and it's New South Wales wide, so they're happy with that.
Mate, what would your message be to the fans to come along and support the carnival over the next 4 weeks?
Yeah, just that. Come and support it because it's great football. You're looking after your own boys. Come and support them. They've played very hard to get into these sides. Trained hard, worked hard. Come and watch what they can do and be proud of where they come from, and just get behind them and support them.
Yeah, always great to catch up with the CEO of the Country Rugby League, Terry Quinn. He's doing an outstanding job. Another guy that's doing another outstanding job is the coach of the Central Coast, Jamie Forbes.
Mate, we've spoken about it obviously over the past few weeks. We were sort of hoping to play an expansive game of football, but mate, the weather conditions may not allow that. But given every opportunity, mate, we'll be certainly trying to find some space out wide.
There's been a lot of wet weather here in the last 24 hours, but it looks like the playing surface is quite good.
Yeah, surprising, considering yesterday when we arrived, we couldn't get a run, and they were talking about postponing the game. So luckily the gods have smiled upon us, and we're able to play the game. And yeah, mate, the field's outstanding.
So you're happy and raring to go?
Mate, excited, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. It's come around quick, but our preparation has been good, so we've got no excuses. If we don't turn up today and if we get beat, well, there's certainly no excuses.
Yeah, mate, we've had a look at the oval. It doesn't look too bad, so we're expecting slippery conditions, but no, we're prepared for a tough game anyway. So, mate, we're just going to rip in and do our best, mate.
Boys ready?
Yeah, definitely, mate. We've had a pretty good night last night. Everyone had a good sleep, so boys are keen and all ready to go.
Game plan? Can you talk us through it?
Oh, mate, just the same as everyone else, mate. Just nice and simple. Get through our sets, hopefully, and put some pressure on them. So hopefully, if we get through our sets, will help us get through the game. Good
luck to the Central Coast boys here this afternoon. Well, let's now hear from the Greater Southern Stars coach, Peter Hooper.
I think if we do the little things right today, and like kick long in these conditions, it's not great to be playing open style of footy. So we'll prepare to kick long and try and win the middle third, and hopefully we'll win that.
What players can we look out for today?
Oh, look, I think Benson Tupu. I think he came into the squad late, but I think with his experience and expertise at a higher level, I think he'll lead the way for us today.
Quietly confident?
Oh, we've done a lot of work together and we've trained really well together, so that comes to confidence. You can never say you're confident in this game because you're not aware of the opposition. So. But we're happy with the side that we've got on paper, so if we can produce the goods today, that'd be good.
Just be patient, I think. Wet weather, you don't want to go into your shell and go away from what we've trained, but you've got to be smart as well. So I think we just got to make sure we start strong and get through our sets and kick. Things like kick chase in wet weather is pretty important, so boys are pretty ready to go, but we don't want to play silly, but we don't want to play in a shell either. So I think just complete to start with, and then see how we go towards the end of halves, and try and put some points on when we get a bit of momentum.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We've heard from the coaches and the captains. What we might do now is take a break, and we'll come back to the kick-off between the Central Coast and the Great Southern Stars.
Nice. Nurse?
Sexy nurse.
What's Matty going as?
Trevor! 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 Trevor's in the trees!
I got this.
Accidents can be chaotic. Luckily, you can capture exactly what happened with our Amy Access app.
You can come down now, Neil.
I don't think I can.
You're with Amy.
So let's go through the Central Coast side as they'll take to the field today. At fullback is Grant Nelson. On the wings is Ryan Heath and Perry LaBrock. The centre combinations of Shane Corrigan and Aidan Wright. The 5'8" is Jake Fitzpatrick. The captain is Alex Moore. The back rowers look this way. In 13 is Troy Adams. Alan Munro in 12. Tim Burrell goes to 11. Jordan Deeves in 10. Woodley, the hooker, in 9. And Tane Tutaki in jersey number 8. Interchange for the Central Coast, Jake Shearer, Brad Chatfield, Jai Newton and Brad Bennett. That's the way the Central Coast side lines up for this afternoon's clash. Let's take a look at the Greater Southern Stars side. At fullback is Joel Roberts. On the wings is Kurt Field and Sione Cavallata. The centre pairings of Jake Clark and Josh Turi. The 6 is Jesse D. The halfback is Jonathan Dallas. The back rowers look this way. Mark Walsh, Benson Tupu, Dean Scott, Harold Snell, Nathan Ford and Andrew Diomi. Interchange for the Stars, Josh Kent, Brad Hopkins, Joel Skeets and Ryan Adams. Good afternoon to you, Matt.
G'day, Pete, and g'day, listeners. Welcome to Foster. It's been grey and gloomy conditions at the moment, but as you said before, it could be a lot worse than that. We have had heavy showers over the past few days, but as the kick-off goes underway, I'll hand back to you, Pete.
So Central Coast with first use of the football, and this is Jordan Deeves. Storms back onto the ball and he's tackled just short of his own 10-metre line. So game one of the seniors unfolding here at an overcast Tuncurry Oval. This is Aidan Wright, slammed into the ground there by Cavallata. They go for a dig. The Stars in numbers early on in the match. Tupu is in there. Now it comes back to Fitzgibbon. They're going to kick inside their own 40 off the boot of Alex Moore. Ball rolling towards the touchline. Kurt Fielders with the ball. He comes back into the line of defence. And the front rowers are there to meet him and bring him into the ground. Now they go up over the 20-metre line. First set of 6 coming up here for the Great Southern Stars. We spoke to their coach in Peter Hooper. He's after a solid start. And so far, the signs are good. This is Diomi taking the ball into the ground with his orange fluoro boots and yellow boots on display here. You can't miss the footwear in the Country Rugby League Championships, can you? Pretty much at any level. As we see now the ball being fed out there to Perry LaBrock, and he takes the first tackle over there for about 15 metres short of the halfway line.
Well, the Central Coast coach Jamie Forbes will be impressed with this start. They got the momentum going forward in the first set of 6, and it's, as they get a penalty now for hands in the ruck there by the look of it.
Yeah, first penalty coming up here of the match to the Central Coast. So first penalty, 10 metres inside their own half. And the captain in Alex Moore has got the ball in his possession. He's got the wind behind him, so he might be able to find good territory off the kick. So they're going to go on the attack, the Central Coast, 40 metres out from the Great Southern Stars goal line.
Well, Central Coast will be looking to capitalise on this momentum. I went down to the warm-ups between the two teams before the game, and Central Coast just had a lot more momentum and intensity in the warm-up. They came here fired up, ready to play, and that's translated in the first few set of 6 as they go on the attack now.
This is Troy Woodley. He comes out to the commentary side of the field, finds Nelson. A very quiet fullback. You don't come across many fullbacks that don't say much, but the team have said to me that he's very quiet, but he knows how to go about his business. Unfortunately, though, we've seen a tiny mistake from the Central Coast.
I think they just came a bit too complacent there, Pete. They tried to force one too many passes, and they're paying the price now by a turnover.
As the scrum, as you can see, being fed there by Jesse D, puts the ball into the scrum, and it comes out, and the Stars through Jake Clark, taking the tackle there of Troy Adams. 30 metres away from their own goal line. Woodley gets off him. Just shy of the 40-metre line. Munro in there from Central Coast. They're up quickly. They had to be. And Jordan Deeves, the big number 10. Now, the short side play. Losing the ball, though, putting it through the arms of Harold Snell. So they've forced the pressure, the Central Coast. They wanted the ball back at every opportunity. Now they have that opportunity to go on the attack 40 metres out from the Great Southern Stars goal line.
Well, now we've seen a mistake from both sides, and as we mentioned before, there's been plenty of rain around over the past 24 hours here, right across the Newcastle region, and it means they've got to get down into the forward battle, and they've got to not try and force too many passes, which is what both teams have been guilty of so far.
So 0-0 on the Country Rugby League scoreboard. This is the captain in Alex Moore. Woodley, away to Corrigan. Good tackle there from Jake Clark. 42 metres away from the Stars goal line. Back through the middle they come. Fitzpatrick, great ball to Burrell. 32 metres away from the goal line. Woodley, Fitzpatrick, back to Woodley. Forwards in there. Fitzpatrick. They're up quickly, aren't they, again? Well, they need to be. They know that the Central Coast is very elusive at every opportunity, so they need to shut down their playmakers. A little kick into the Indian goal area. Not quite going into the in-goal area off the boot of Alex Moore, but he's come through and taken the winger into the ground there, which was Kurt Fields, 12 metres out from the Stars goal line. So we've had 7 minutes here on the CRL scoreboard, and we're locked up here in the first match of the CRL Amy Country Championships with Peter Jolly and Matt Sherrington coming out of Harry Elliott Oval here in Tuncurry as the Stars now trapped inside their own 30-metre line. Last tackle now coming up for the Stars. Look for the kick. Needs to bang it downfield. And it's gone straight down to the winger out there. Of course, that is Perry LeBrock coming back on the infield before he's been cleaned up there by Mark Walsh from the Stars. So tackle number 2 now on the halfway line. Not much in this game. Both sides in the early stages just settling one another out. Heavy stuff coming through there from Benson Tupu. This is Woodley offloading it to Moore. Where's his winger? Oh, the winger couldn't quite get it in Perry LeBrock. It's gone into touch 20 metres out. Central Coast unlucky there that the pass didn't stick to the winger.
Yeah, that's definitely not the finish Central Coast were looking for on that occasion. They had the dummy half did really well breaking through the line, but just needed the pass, just needed to stick on that occasion. But the reason they were able to get into that position is through their defensive effort. They were able to pin Southern Stars down on their own, in their own 20, and the kick actually came from inside their own 30, which meant they started their own set of 6 from really good field position.
So week 1 of the Amy Country Championships for 2015. Just the final we played in Mudgee. As we head through the month of June, we head to Bathurst next weekend. So if you're in the Bathurst region, get on down and support the AAMI Championships. A brilliant venue in Bathurst, just like this one. Good hands there from Dallas. Maybe not so fortunate. The referee has seen a tiny knock on his halfway line.
Yeah, just fumbled the ball there just before he was able to get the kick away, but it was a much better six from the Southern Stars, who were able to work their way downfield a bit more, but they just need to be a bit more crisp with their passing, especially in these slippery conditions.
Well, as we have a look on the AAMI replay, Jonathan Dallas, well, as you can see, just put it live through his hands. Speaking of live, we're back to live pictures now. This is Aidan Wright. Takes the tackle there. So they're mounting pressure, the Central Coast. Are they building towards their first points of the match? Are the Greater Southern Stars going to allow them to achieve just that? Tight one unfolding here at Tuncurry. Oh, as you can see, pain of frustration coming from Troy Adams, who has put it down. Back to the Stars as they cross their own 40-metre line. As we can see, getting to his feet and playing the ball back there, it was Curtis Field. Now this is Jake Clark. He chimes in and takes a tackle over the top, just short of the halfway line. Coming through the back line, this is where they've had success. Losing the ball though. Well, it is very slippery here. As we mentioned, we've had a lot of rain here in the Foster-Tuncurry area over the last 24 hours. There was talk that this game may have had to have been transferred in the lead up to today's fixtures. But credit to the Foster-Tuncurry Council to allow this match to go ahead as per program. As we see now, Fitzpatrick putting the ball in, and out it comes to Shane Corrigan. 45 metres away from the Stars goal line. Woodley sending it across to Jordan Deeves, chiming in jersey number 10. Moore back to Fitzpatrick. This is Tane Tutaki. Can't miss him. Finding it hard to put him onto his back. Now to Woodley, goes short. To the lock in Adams. They're 20 metres out from the Stars goal line. Woodley, they come up the commentary side. This is Wright. Last tackle. Look for the crossfield kick. No, they're going to fill everybody. Back to Heath, he'll get down low. Has he got the ball down? Referee might give the first try here. He has. First try to the Central Coast. They lead by 4 points to 0, and that is the 29th minute of the match.
It was a really creative try by Central Coast. Everyone was waiting for the crossfield kick, but he was able to throw the dummy and go on his own down the wing, and it was a really good try then by the Central Coast.
Coming up on the AAMI replay once more. We might just slow it down. Central Coast did exceptionally well, as you can see there. Short side, didn't have much space to work. And over he goes. Doesn't matter how much ball you get on the white stripe, as long as there's a star on the white chalk, that is a try.
I think the only person expecting that was Ryan Heath. Everybody was waiting for the crossfield kick. They had numbers all across the field, but Central Coast knew what was coming up and was able to get the try in the corner, which is now quite a difficult kick for Jake Fitzpatrick now from right on the touchline.
Doesn't come much tougher for any goal kicker in the game of rugby league than right out on the western touchline. He's got the breeze behind him. Just sprays it across the face of the goal here. So an unsuccessful conversion for the Central Coast. But on the CRL scoreboard, it's Central Coast leading by 4 points to 0.
Well, the Central Coast coach, Jamie Forbes, will be very happy with this start. They were able to control possession and their completion rate has been pretty high while they've backed that up just in defence. So they're putting the pressure right back on the Southern Stars throughout this game, and their forwards just have to start going forward, and they start needing to lift their intensity.
And that's exactly what they're doing here. You speak of intensity, and you just sense that holes could be appearing up the middle of the ruck from the Stars. This is Corrigan exploiting the eastern wing. His touch judge just comes off his touch line there to say, guys, let's keep this clean here for week 1 of the AAMI Championships. You're with Peter Jolly and Matt Sherrington in the CRL commentary box here. Here's the kick. Woodley putting it along the grass, fielded at the back by Joel Roberts. And takes the shoulder there of Alex Moore and Troy Woodley. This is Kirkfield. Troy Adams is in there. This may bring a penalty to the Stars. A rare penalty to the Stars, but nonetheless, Central Coast just holding down too long. And this could also be classified as a relieving penalty because the Stars haven't been in Central Coast's half much at all in the opening 14 minutes of this clash. But this is their opportunity now to show everybody exactly what they've got. Diomi is with it. Tutaki over the top. Woodley over the top with Tuataki. Playing the ball back there was D. Away to Dallas. This is Jake Clark. 40 metres out from the Central Coast goal line. This is Tupu. Forward. They're going to kick between the fullback and the winger. A little bit of indecision at the back there between Nelson and LeBrock. But LeBrock goes away, looks up at his welcoming reception committee, and he finds himself into the dirt here as they come off their own goal line here through Shane Corrigan. Stars defence toughening up, not allowing the Central Coast to come far. Until now, they've given away a penalty. 30 metres out from the Central Coast goal line.
I was just going to say that was a great opportunity for Great Southern Stars. They had pinned them down inside their own 20 off with just 3 tackles on that set of 6, but then a silly penalty for taking too long in the ruck has let Central Coast right off the hook.
As the sun just trying to peek through the heavy clouds from the skies above. As we mentioned at the top, over 60 mils have fallen in the last 24 hours here in Tuncurry. Up here in Foster, an area that's certainly booming. Credit there to the Stars to force the error from Jordan Deves.
Yeah, they'd be very unhappy with that. The Central Coast, they were just starting to gain momentum and work their way down the field, and they're just an easy turnover. It gives the Southern Stars possession, but they've really got to capitalise on that now. They really need to get forward and put Central Coast back down there into the field.
Four 4-0. Central Coast leading the way here. "17 minutes remaining in the first half. Thanks to the CRL for allowing the stream throughout the AAMI Country Championships over the next 4 weeks. As the Great Southern Stars continue to come the short side. This is Josh Toohey. Fitzpatrick in there from Central Coast. Forward, D. Apps knowing that he's here in week 1 of the country championships. Heavy tackle. This is Dallas. They're going to go high to the air. Pressure over there. Where's the tap back? Unfortunately, it will come back to the Central Coast. Didn't quite come off for the Stars, but they had the right intention.
Yeah, he's just caught with his foot just over the sideline there, which means that the ball will come back to 40 metres out from the Central Coast line. So they're in really good field position to mount yet another attack, because they're making plenty of metres off their sets of 6.
This is Adams, picked up and driven into the lush turf here. This is Woodley. Charging forward now, this is Shearer to the halfway line. Welcome to the AAMI Championships for 2015. Wherever you're watching the coverage, this is Troy Adams. Forwards over the top. 4 points to 0, Central Coast here. This is Munro. Being told to play the ball. Back to Fitzpatrick. Kicking it. Roberts slipping over. And Heath is there along with Aidan Wright to finish him off. Cavallata now, he chimes in off the wing. Expect slippery conditions from the grass. Look at this heavy stuff here coming through from Newton, and also Jordan Deeves continuing to come to the left-hand side. Ball bounces up for Clark. He finds his winger in field. He's down the sideline. The cover's there, and they bang him into the turf. 42 metres out from their own goal line. The Stars now back through the middle they come. We might have time off here. Our official has called time off. We've got a player in the background, as you can see here, right here. We'll go in tight. Well, it looks like the bandage has come to the rescue here. No, he's not a mummy, but he's not far from being labelled one. Half a mummy. It's at the half of the back.
It looks like he copped a head knock there. Head knock, and yeah, he was in the middle of play right through the passage, so that the referee had no option but to call time off then while he seeked medical assistance.
Rough and tough. You only need to fix him up, and that's exactly what they've done. Well, as far as the commentary position goes, you won't be missing our man with the additional piece strapped up over his chin, that's for sure. As the Central Coast now through their 14 in Shearer. Referee just calling halt to the proceedings. Another player on his back here on the Central Coast 20-metre line. And it looks like could be Mark Walsh.
Yeah, Mark Walsh. It looks like a leg problem there. They're just trying to stretch it out now, find out whether it's a knee problem. But yeah, it doesn't look good at the moment for Mark Walsh.
Well, let's just have a look at the replay to determine why he actually is on his back. Just hobbling off now as we come back to the live shot. So not great signs for the Stars, losing their lock forward in Mark Walsh, just being assisted from the field as the sunshine peeks out behind the dark clouds here. But we are expecting the showers to disappear as the afternoon goes on. The temperature up around 18, 19 degrees here in Tuncurry. Ideal playing conditions. We walked the field before kickoff here today, and got to say that the ground is in a remarkable state, and that's a credit to council staff for getting this pitch in prestige condition. Take your hat off to the local council here. As Central Coast now leading by 4 points to 0 as we see them cross the 40-metre line. The Coast continuing to go over the halfway line. This is Andrew Diomi in the tackle for the Stars. Of course, the Group 6 and the Group 7 and the Group 16 make up for the Greater Southern Stars here in the clash here today. And this is Joel Roberts at the back being picked up and driven towards his own goal line there. Assisted in the tackle from Jake Shearer and Jai Newton. This is Sione Cavallata in off his wing, taking the play to the middle of the field here. Got 19 minutes to go in the first half. Tight battle unfolding, not much in it. Great ball. Here they go. Dallas offloading the pass, and Josh Kent losing it. But didn't they look electric as we go to the Amy replay right there?
Yeah, it was a good good pass there to find the player streaming through downfield. But as he weaved down the field, he just couldn't quite hand off to his teammate, and as such, they'll have to hand the ball back to the Central Coast 10 metres out from halfway.
So back to live pitches now. Of course, the coach of the Central Coast, Jamie Forbes, doing a fantastic job assembling his squad here this afternoon. And then, of course, credit to Peter Hooper, the coach of the Greater Southern Stars, also doing a phenomenal job with his squad. Both squads have had a few weeks preparation coming into these Amy Championships. This is Moore. Nelson straight through. One-on-one tackle there with Clark, and they bring him into the ground. 28 metres away from the line. Nelson plays the ball. Back to Munro. Gets the legs pumping. 4 points to nil on the CRL scoreboard. Moore goes to Fitzpatrick. He'll kick. Where's his winger? Cavallata. Gee, cool as a cucumber at the back, and he knocks it over the dead ball line. So we're going to have a goal line dropout. More pressure coming up here for the Great Southern Stars.
Well, he only just got there too. The winger was streaming down the field and nearly really got there for that try. But it's really a credit to the Central Coast at the moment. They've really getting they're really working off the back of their momentum and really making their chances count. And this time they'll get a repeat set. That's the second best thing to getting the try.
So Joel Roberts now with the goal line dropout. Goes down to the 40-metre line, and Nelson sets it up to Shearer. Bit of niggle there. There's the mummy. Plays it back to the left-hand side of the field. This is Adams. Takes it to the 20-metre line here. Looking for more points. Are they about to get it? Newton. Turning it back on the inside to Troy Adams. Josh Tui over the top. Newton. Fitzpatrick. Moore. They go short to a barging Munro. Flicks it out the back. Tapped on. Out wide back to Corrigan. And Clark is in there to bang him into the ground. Last tackle now for Central Coast. Kicking into the in-goal area. They're going to get the ball back again, the Central Coast. But credit there to Kirkfield, knowing what option was on the last tackle for Central Coast as we go to the Amy replay.
Yeah, again, the Central Coast tried to catch them off guard down that short side. But the kick into the field just got into the in-goal line, and just on this occasion, it was good work from the Southern Stars to clean that up. But I was really impressed with Troy Adams so far in this game. He's had a high workload. The Central Coast lock. He's as well as creating plenty of metres. He's had a good passing game as well.
The luck of fortune in rugby league. The Great Southern Stars have got it back. Even better result, a penalty going to them. Their third penalty of the match. Central Coast just holding them down for too long. So the boot and the ball connect to send it up here onto the roof. And they take the tap and they lose it. Back to the Central Coast. This is Shearer. Ryan Apps over the top. Back to Newton. Now this is Bennett. 14 minutes to go on the CRL scoreboard. Back to Fitzpatrick. Nelson. This may bring a penalty. It has brought a penalty. Time off here will stop the clock. 4-4. Time back underway. The high shot, the signal there from our official. So they take the tap, the Central Coast. This is Bennett. 4-0. As we go inside the last 12 minutes of the first half. This is Corrigan. Skeets has got him. Back to Newton. Now to Shearer. Fitzpatrick. Burrell. Here come the Central Coast. It's on the ground. Kicked ahead. Can they get it back? Moore will get it. Moore will score. The captain is over. 8-0 as we go to the Amy replay.
It was only a matter of time for the Central Coast. They've really been camped down the Southern Stars end of the field for the last 5 or 6 minutes now. But again, it was another enterprising piece of play there by Alex Moore. He was able to kick through and there was nobody within metres of him and was able to put his hand on the ball and ground it. So it's quite the perfect start for Central Coast. They've really dominated play, and Coach Peter Hooper for the Great Southern Stars will really be tearing his hair out at half-time. There's just been too many mistakes that have just gifted the Central Coast good field position, and on this occasion, they've made them pay.
Well, the captain, superb effort. Put it onto the toe and then chasing the ball to score Central Coast's second try of the afternoon. Now, Jake Fitzpatrick, the 5'8", looking to convert the try. Looks good. It's a conversion. So Central Coast on the CRL scoreboard, they lead the Great Southern Stars by 10 points to 0. We'll take a break and come back here to Tuncurry. Back here, 10 points to 0 on the Amy CRL scoreboard. Central Coast. In possession. 12 minutes to go in the first half. Great Southern Stars, they just haven't had possession, have they? Inside the Central Coast's half. So we don't really know what they've got in attack. Early days yet. Central Coast. Jamie Forbes, very impressed. He said it was all about the start. Now it's all about the scoreboard. They're up by 10. Here's the kick along the ground. They're coming through on Roberts. It might hit the goalpost. It does. So we'll have a tap restart. Centre field. 20 metres out from the Great Southern Stars goal line. Adams in there, along with the assistance from Jai Newton. Back through the middle of the park. Their winger chiming in. This is Cavallata. Giant man, giant winger. 40-metre line is where the Stars are playing the ball. Inside the last 10 minutes of the first half, this is Harold Snell. Chiming in now, it's Dallas, giving it away to Dean Scott. Inside the Central Coast half, look for the kick off the boot of Dallas. Ball bouncing awkwardly there. But they've done well. Grant Nelson to go away and clean up as Jake Clark gets off him. Now this is LeBrock in off the other wing. That was flat. Referee said play on to Aidan Wright. Swarming in, aren't they? The Stars. Getting off him there was Clark. Back through the middle of the park. Bit of a show and go. I think that's Brad Bennett, you'll think you'll find in jersey 17 playing the ball. This is Burrell. Last tackle now for Central Coast. What's their option? Along the ground again off the boot of Alex Moore. Picked up the Central Coast second try of the afternoon. And Fitzpatrick is in there to knock him into the ground, 20 metres out from their own goal line. 8 minutes to go in the first half here. 10-point ball game. Cavallata driven sideways before playing the ball back quickly. This is Tui. Great ball back on the inside. Over the halfway line they come. Tui again. Back to Dallas. Roberts offloading to Clark. And Moore is in there. So 40 metres away from the Central Coast line. Here's the kick over the top of Nelson. Ball will sit up in goal. Hopkins driving Nelson back towards his own goal line. Now they exploit a gap up the middle of the park. Central Coast are away. Back to Fitzpatrick over the halfway line. He gets it back to Moore. Moore's running out of support. Chiming in now with the ball. It's LeBrock. Back to Fitzpatrick. Try. What a great try by the Central Coast. Well, from absolutely nothing, they've gone 100 metres to score their third try of the afternoon. They lead by 14 points to 0 with a kick to come.
Well, looked in trouble on their own goal line. The kick was able to, they were able to pin themselves down on the thing, but then a team try was set up. They were able to run 99 metres downfield just through their slick passing. They were able to find the holes, and the speed did the rest. And again, it's quite a handy lead now, 14-0.
They'll be watching that replay over and over again. Thanks to our major sponsor, AAMI. Amy. For all your home insurance content needs, get in touch with Amy, that is for sure. So 14 points to 0, 7 minutes out from half time. I think we should have a look at the replay again. That's how good it was. Just keep an eye on the support play. In and out, weaving, darting. Alex Moore looking for support. Brilliant stuff. That is what a replay is all about.
I think the best thing about that try is just that the players just kept backing each other up. They were able to just charge down the field and we just kept turning up and providing support for the players, which is what good teams do.
You're with Peter Jolly and Matt Sherrington here in the CRL commentary box coming out of Harry Elliott Oval here in Foster Tuncurry. When we woke up this morning, we weren't 100% sure where we were going to be playing today, but the sun is out and everyone is happy. And Central Coast, well, the smiles, they just keep on shining on their faces. They're out to a 16 points to 0 lead.
Not sure if you caught that, Pete, but one of the touch judges had their flag up while the other one waved it away. So on that occasion, they go back to the referee who actually gave it as a goal. So an extra 2 points for Central Coast.
Takes me back to 1992 in the Winfield Cup down at Wynn Stadium. There's a match down there between the Illawarra Steelers and the Brisbane Broncos. And one flag up and one flag was down. But the funny thing was, the try shouldn't have been a try. He lost it over the line. And Illawarra went on to win that clash on the back of that free 6-pointer 23 years ago. Doesn't time go quick? Back there now to Cavallata. Well, let's see what the Stars can do here. First time in a long time. On the back of a penalty, Not getting off him quick enough was Burrell. So they might bang it into touch here and gain a few moments to go towards the touchline, and that's what they do. Finding it pretty much in the identical position where they did kick it. As this is Hopkins. 16 points to nil. The Stars trailing here in the Amy Senior Country Championships of 2015. Back to forward. This is Kent losing it. It was Benson Tupu with the line right in front of him. So again, just a few errors creeping into the Greater Southern Stars.
That's right, Peter Cooper won't be very happy at half-time. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot. They were gifted the best chance of the game there with back-to-back sets on their own line, but they just couldn't take advantage of it. Just passes are not finding the man, and they're just putting him down. The Great Southern Stars only have themselves to blame for that.
Central Coast. Through Corrigan. 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. And don't forget, our second match of the afternoon will be coming up immediately after this one between Canberra and North Coast Dolphins. Make sure you click onto the second URL link to view that contest as we head into the AAMI Country Championships, the pinnacle of country rugby league. And thanks to all the sponsors involved to get this coverage to air. As the ball goes down now to Joel Roberts. Coming through, led there by Shearer, along with Brad Chatfield. You're up quickly again on Kirkfield. Shearer. He knows that he's got to shut them down. And so far, full points. Looks like Fitzpatrick has just taken a tumble there as well. Now they exploit the gap. Thought for a moment he didn't know where he was. He got a bit of a knock to the head there in Fitzpatrick. He looks okay. Back to Tupu, receiving the ball there from Dallas. Roberts. Dallas. Tui. Looking good. Clark down the sideline. Clark still going. Corrigan coming across. Back to field. 18 metres out from the Central Coast line. Here come the Stars. Back through D. He takes the line on. He kicks for himself. Can he get it back? No, he can't. Nelson's there to save the day for the Central Coast. 5 metres out from his own goal line.
It's probably not the fifth tackle option they would have been looking for there. They had the numbers on this side of the field if they could have kept the ball coming out this side, but again, the luck just hasn't been going the way of the Great Southern Stars. And one thing we haven't spoken about much in this first half is the breeze, which is going behind the Central Coast at the moment. And you've seen some of the kicks that have been pulling up for the Great Southern Stars. So they'll have that at their backs in the second half, and let's just hope they can get a good halftime message and a bit more momentum in the second half.
More outside the 40. Finding it 12 metres out. Well, this will be interesting. From the naked eye, it looks like he kicked it outside his own 40, and the referee agrees. Not much in it. So close yet so far, though, for the Central Coast team. As we look at the Amy replay there, as you can see, just outside the 40. Not much in it, but credit to the officials for picking that up quite well as we count down towards the break. 16-point buffer to the Central Coast here. Week 1 of the Amy Senior Country Championships for 2015. This is Josh Tui. Hasn't seen much of the ball in the first half, the centre. Field. He's had it a number of times in off the wing. And also Tupu, who was playing that ball. This is Skeets. Bennett's wrapped him up. Back to forward. Elusive out of dummy half. Ball pops out. Play on. It's gone behind them. Dallas. keeping it alive to the halfway line. Munro, their little nuggeting half back from the Central Coast, in there from the opposition, off the boot of Dallas, putting it into touch, as that was the last tackle. So we'll get back underway here on the 40-metre line, as it was the last. So an ideal opportunity for Central Coast with 30 seconds to go in the first half, as they continue to impress their fans that have travelled up from the coast. Bus loads here for the country championships. This is right, elusive, dangerous. Tui hangs on to the back of his collar. Fitzpatrick, Moore. Finally takes the tackle there of Ford. 1 second to go, last play coming up for the Central Coast. They go high to the air. Ball will swirl right in the possession of the Stars. And out there to collect the ball was Kirkfield. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is half-time here. Week 1 of the Senior Country Championships for 2015. At the break, it's the Central Coast in control. They lead by 16 points to 0. We'll take a break and come back for the second 40.
Nice. Nurse?
Sexy nurse.
What's Matty going as?
Cat!
Trevor! Trevor's in the trees!
I got this.
Accidents can be chaotic. Luckily, you can capture exactly what happened with our Amy Access app.
You can come down now, Neil.
I don't think I can.
You're with Amy.
Nice. Nurse?
Sexy nurse.
What's Matty going as?
Cat!
Trevor's in the trees!
I got this.
Accidents can be chaotic. Luckily, you can capture exactly what happened with our Amy Access app.
You can come down now, Neil.
I don't think I can.
You're with Amy.
So we're back here for the second half. The great Southern Stars have the possession. 40 down, 40 to go. Trailing by 16 points to 0 here on the CRL scoreboard. This is week 1 of the Country Championships. And it's great to have your company here on CRL, nsw.com.au. Peter Jolly and Matt Sherrington in the commentary box here today as the Stars go on the attack. They're about 35 metres out from their own line. Last tackle coming up. Back to Ford. He goes across now to Dallas. Ball goes downfield. Not too much speed off the ball. The ground in good condition, but a little bit soft in patches. One of those areas of softness was where that ball found itself, sitting up as they storm off their own 30-metre line. This is Burrell. Good lead, isn't it? 16 points to 0. This is Brad Bennett. Out the back, elusive. Back to Nelson. Beating 1, beating 2. Trying to beat the 3rd. And they wrap him up. 35 metres away from the Stars goal line. Chatfield. Clark in there to assist in defence. Newton. Here's the kick from Fitzpatrick. Coming through. This is Heath. Can he offload? Flicks out the back. Play on. Try time. Right under the post. Fourth try of the afternoon to the Central Coast. Well, they decided to let the ball bounce, and the bounce of the ball in that situation was their own worst enemy, the Stars.
Well, the halftime message didn't seem to work for the Great Southern Stars, who just let Central Coast have easy field position down the field. And the kick in the end, they just put it up in that swirling breeze and just proved too difficult for the fullback to contain. But again, all the luck is going with Central Coast at the moment, and it'll be the perfect start for their coach.
The Amy replay revealing exactly how that try unfolded. As we said, the ball, well, you just can't be fooled by it, can you? The ball just likes to fool everybody else. So here's the kick now from Fitzpatrick. Kicking into the breeze, looks good. It's a conversion. So Central Coast, they're up by 22 points to nil on the CRL scoreboard. And this is the week one of the Amy Senior Country Championships. Central Coast going head-to-head with their southern rivals, and the Great Southern Stars. Southern Stars made up of players coming out of the Group 6, the Group 7 and the Group 16 down there in the southern region of New South Wales. Just around the Kiama area, around the district down there where all these players go around in their local competitions week in, week out. And then combining to come together for the Amy Championships. This is a great pass. Look at this. Moore throws the dummy, gives it across field. Stepping, weaving, darting. Now finally taking the tackle. Slow release. Referee said play on. Corrigan plays it back. Away to Newton. Dangerous distributor of the ball. We've seen what he can do today in jersey 17. This is Fitzpatrick. They cross the halfway line now. The ball will come off the back there of Tupu. Comes back to the Central Coast, I thought. Well, maybe unlucky there that it wasn't play onto the Central Coast.
I think what he ruled there, that he was tackled and then forced the pass after the tackle. So that obviously means a scrum to the Great Southern Stars, and they really need to start getting back on the scoreboard. I'd suggest if they don't score in the next 5 minutes, it's going to be a long way back for them.
And an even longer trip back down to the South Coast, just talking to their coach in Peter Hooper. 8-hour trip as we see them going down the sideline. Cavallata taking the tackle there, just inches in from the eastern touchline here at Harry Elliott Oval here in Foster Tuncurry. Hopkins put away there by Shearer. Trailing 22 points to nil as they come back on the inside. This is Clark. Beating one, still going Clark. Inside the 20-metre line. Ball played back. Ford is with it. Back to Tupu. Shearer wrapping him up. Diomi. The D goes himself. Last tackle now for the Stars. Back to Kent. Look for the kick out wide. Where's Scott? Couldn't quite come down with it for the Stars. The Central Coast go up and defuse the situation thanks to Corrigan, and they've got the ball 15 metres out from their own goal line.
That was just too easy for the Central Coast there. There was no real challenge on the ball, and I don't think it made any metres forward. I think it just went directly across field, and in that situation, your wingers really need to be coming through and make a better challenge.
Penalty coming here to the Coast. One of only a handful of penalties in the second half as Alex Moore finds the line. 40 metres away from the Stars line. Back to Chatfield. He gets the legs pumping. Clark gets off him. Newton. Moore. Running through the gap is Bennett. Still going. Roberts has got him around the leg. Back to Newton. Towards the left-hand side of the field. Flying onto it now is Wright. 10 metres away from the Stars goal line. Here come the Central Coast. Back from Fitzpatrick. Finds Shearer. Try line in front of him. Fitzpatrick. They come out wide. Nelson away to Corrigan. Can he offload? He doesn't need to offload. And Corrigan goes over for the Central Coast. It's 26-0 with a kick to come.
What's a smart play from the Central Coast? They've just been playing smart football today, and down this side, Corrigan just had the fancy footwork to be able to step around his opponent and get over for the try. But Central Coast, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, they were switched on from the moment they got here. Their warm up, there was a lot of chatter in the warm up. There was a lot of intensity shown there. They'd come here to play, and they've translated it to the field, and that's as much as their coach Jamie Forbes can ask for.
Oregon. Played a lot of local rugby league on the Central Coast. Deserving of his spot here in the centre three-quarter position. And look out if you're going to face the Central Coast in the weeks ahead here in the AAMI Senior Country Championships. They are on fire, and their combinations are working a treat for their coach in Jamie Forbes. Here's the kick now from Fitzpatrick. 5 metres in from the western touchline. Looking to strike it out to the right, and hopefully it will fly back through. Exactly what the doctor ordered, exactly what he wanted. Fitzpatrick converts. 28-0 here on the CRL scoreboard.
Well, when your luck's with you, your luck's with you. He just held that up beautifully in the breeze there and was able to add the extra 2. But they'll face stiff competition next week in 2 weeks' time when they take on Illawarra in the next round, if they can hold this lead, of course.
Of course. 13th of June is our finals, and then we go through to grand final day on the 20th of June in Mudgee. So it's spread across 4 weeks. We all head off to Bathurst next weekend, and there's a gap of a fortnight, and then we go into the venue that will be pretty much released and scheduled from the Country Rugby League officials in the coming week, we believe. And then, of course, we round out the finals in Mudgee on the 20th of June. As the Central Coast now through Chatfield, playing it back through the middle of the park. This is where they'll kick off the boot of Fitzpatrick, banging it away from Roberts. He's got to go away and see the ball. Got it in his possession, and Wright is in there to bring him into the ground, about 20 metres out from his own sticks. 28-0 here on the Country Rugby League scoreboard. Here with Peter Jolly and Matt Sherrington, coming out of Foster Tuncurry for the first week, the first game of the AAMI Senior Country Championships. The next match, of course, coming up shortly will be between Canberra and the North Coast Dolphins. And, of course, you'll be able to watch that game on the separate link on the Country Rugby League website as now. Central Coast approaching their own 40-metre line. This is Heath. Back through the middle they come. Burrell continuing to dominate through the middle. This is Tutaki. Skeets in there. Back to Fitzpatrick. Now this is Wright. Cavallata in there in the tackle. Back to Burrell. Shearer. Ball's on the ground. Picked up by Corrigan. Flicks it out the back. Maud's with it. Looking dangerous. LeBrock kicking. Chasing. Fielded at the back there by D. He's got to get back out in the field of play, and he has. What a run from his own in-goal area. Back into the field of play. Now it's all come unstuck. 10 metres out from their own goal line. Unfortunate set of circumstances there for the Great Southern Stars. But they're going to get the ball back though, so don't worry so much. We're back to square one.
Yeah, he ruled a double knock on there, but luck just wasn't with the Great Southern Stars then. But as I kept saying before, it's just been smart football from Central Coast. They're spreading the ball from side to side in attack and really stretching out the defence. And on that occasion, when Alex Moore was able to split through and so nearly get through for the try. But the Southern Stars have the ball back, and they're about 20 metres out on tackle two.
Through Clark. Forward. Walsh plays it back. They're up quickly in defence, aren't they? And they need to be on Skeets. Forward. Could be an intercept. Oh, unfortunately, Fitzpatrick couldn't quite get to his ball on time and regain it into his possession. But it's all one-way traffic here in the second half. And that's reflective on the scoreboard with Central Coast leading by 28 points to 0 here on the Country Rugby League scoreboard. So scrum is won, and now the Stars continue to come through the middle of the field. Onto it now is Walsh. They go high. Three, so play on. Ford. Back to Dallas. Turning it back on the inside. It comes now to Tupu. 25 minutes to go in the first half. Now to Skeets. Back to Clark. Beating one, beating two, beating three. Comes down to the fullback. He's away. Corrigan's in support. In defence. Now to Ford, sees a gap, goes for it and scores. Well, they've been able to crack. Nathan Ford gets the first try of the afternoon for the Greater Southern Stars. They're on the scoreboard to the 5 metre to the right of the post.
Well, Central Coast wouldn't be happy with that. He sold the dummy and they all fell for it. He was able to slide through the gap there. It was great play from Nathan Ford there. And while it might be too much for them to claw back today, they won't finish with a whitewash, Pete.
It's a long way to go. Still 24 minutes to go. Is that the sniff that they need to lift their confidence? A few more quick tries. And, you never know, but so far the Central Coast are white hot. Here's the kick now from Joel Roberts. 15 metres out. Let's see what he can do. Right in front of the post. Stabs at it. Looks good. It's converted. So they've been able to turn 4 into 6. And we've got a 22-point ball game here on the CRL scoreboard. It's 28 points to 6 in favour of the Central Coast. Double AMI, a major sponsor for the 2015 AAMI Senior Country Championships. For all your local insurance and everything else, AAMI is the contact to get in contact with and support the guys that support the country rugby league at this level. That's for sure. As you see now, Skeets with the ball. Back there now to Ford. Now to D. Giving away to Hopkins. To the back line they come. Cavalata down the sideline. And Nelson's in there to bring him into the ground. Back to D. Away to Roberts. Dallas goes up the middle of the field before he's going to be claimed in the tackle. Now it comes back to Ford, throws the dummy. Ball's on the ground. Picked up there by D once more. Runs into Fitzpatrick. Fourth tackle coming up. Back to the back line. Got an overlap out here. Clark will go for the line. Oh, he's lost the ball. It's gone backwards. Play on. Fields got it. And he's going to be wrapped up and brought down. 10 metres away. Back to Dallas. Now to D. Roberts. Tui. Great ball. But it's hit the foot, the ankle of our man on screen there in the touch judge.
Yeah, again, luck not with the Great Southern Stars then. They really worked hard during that set of 6 to get down into that field position. But again, maybe they should have just taken the tackle and set something up for the next play, but pushed it too hard. But when you're behind by 22, you've really got to try and create more luck than they have been.
.21 minutes to go. This is the Amy Country Championships 2015. We'll have the final on the 20th of June in Mudgee. As they are up quickly, Skeets is in there to assist Deves. Back to Munro. Just past his own 30-metre line. Woodley. Finding Deves. Fitzpatrick. Burrell. Now to Heath. Ten metres short of the halfway line. Looking to run the ball on this opportunity. Good basketball pass over the top. Corrigan putting boot to the ball. Going away for Roberts. He was able to beat Fitzpatrick. But can't beat Aidan Wright. Good defence here from the Central Coast. Look at them just charging through. The ball's on the ground. Referee here. We'll just wait for his signal. He's going to say, Stars, you're going to have one last crack at this. He's not happy, our man out there. As you can see here, the Stars just wanted to get on with it. And now they cross their 40-metre line with their halfback in Jonathan Dallas. Now this is forward. Back this time to Tupu. Great pass. This is Dallas. 25 metres out. This might bring a penalty. It has. Releasing a bit high as well over there. Holding down, as you can see there, the signal from our man out in the middle who's adjudicating this one in game 1 of week 1 of the Amy Country Championships. And thanks to all the supporters getting behind this who have filtered into the ground, as long with our sponsors as well. So we've got time off here with 18 minutes to go in the match. Time off and the score's 28-6. It's calling over. Alan Munro from the Central Coast. Just giving him a bit of a chat on the run there as well with Alex Moore. So Nathan Ford has the ball in his possession. Back this time to Tupu. Forward. Now to Scott. Back on their goal line, the Central Coast. Forward. D. Up quickly on him. Now they pick him up and drive him back towards his own goal line. So they're going backwards to their own 20. This is Skeets. 3 in the tackle. Forward. Back to Walsh. Now to Dallas. On it comes to Scott. A few metres away from the line. Last tackle now for the Stars. They'll kick off the boot. They're looking for their flying winger who comes through and scores one of a rare try, but a good one for the Stars for their second of the afternoon.
Yeah, they'd be happy with that. They've been down that end of the field and had back-to-back sets of 6, but that has been their problem all afternoon. They haven't been able to finish off, but on this occasion, they went to the boot and was able to find the number 2 in Kurt Field flying through down the wingers to score.
So Kurt Field. Been able to finish it off for them in the corner. So the winger did well for the second try of the afternoon. So we've got 16 minutes to go in the first half, in the second half I should say. It is 28 points to 10 with a kick that comes from right out on the chalk. It's Joel Roberts for his third chance to convert. Let's see what he can do from the touchline. As we say, we're off to Bathurst next week. Here's the kick, but just waved away. So no change on the Amy scoreboard. It's 28 points to 10 in favour of the Central Coast.
Yep. The margin now with 18 points, they really need 3 converted tries, so they need a lot more luck that they had on that set of 6. And so really their coach, Peter Hooper, will be hoping that they are able to get the momentum, because you have noticed a shift in momentum over the past 5-10 minutes or so. Bit more of the ball going towards the great Southern Stars.
Well, they might be able to get it back here. They do. This is Deeves charging. Oh, he's put it down. The goal line wide open. Kurt Field goes away and collects it at the back. So scrum will pack down to the Greater Southern Stars as we look at the Amy replay. That's how it unfolded. So you're with Peter Jolly and Matt Sherrington here. The Harry Elliott Oval here in Foster Tuncurry for week 1. The Amy Country Championships as they come out wide to Cavallata. And Aidan Wright. Downstairs, assisted there from Fitzpatrick. Back there now to Josh Toohey. Taking the tackle there. Just outside his own 40-metre line. This is Mark Walsh. They lock forward. Great, nice little pass there, wasn't it? To Tupu, to the 40-metre line. Forward, looking good. Went to the line, offloading. Scott, back to Clark. Plays it back to Field. Now to Roberts. Dallas. Kicking. But Ryan Heath was out there. And now Wright takes the tackle there of Cavallata 5 metres out from his own goal line.
Yeah, it's quite fortunate there for the Central Coast. They had their winger flying across on the outside, because there was definitely numbers there for the Great Southern Stars. Again, they need to start taking a few more chances now if they're going to claw back this 18-point deficit with just 13 minutes on the clock.
So Central Coast going head-to-head with their southern rivals, the Great Southern Stars. We've got 13 minutes to go in game 1 of week 1 of the Amy Country Championships. Deves back to Moore, putting in the kick downfield. Back to Roberts, giving it away to Kirkfield. Trying to come out to the edge to find Cavallata. This is good stuff here, coming up through the middle to Ford. 40 metres away from the Central Coast goal line. Ford again. Back to Walsh. Munro. Taking him into the ground. Diomi. Dallas. Away to Clark. Good tackle there. Come back through the middle of the field. Back there now to Dallas. This is Diomi. Woodley's got him. Ford. Dallas. Snell. Last tackle though, Matt. So change over back to the Central Coast, 10 metres out from their own line.
That's one of the cardinal sins. You can't really get caught with the ball on the final tackle. But the Great Southern Stars, though, it's been all them in the past 5-10 minutes. It's just Peter Hooper will be scratching his head to where was that throughout the whole game. But on the same note, Central Coast now just need to be a bit careful in defence, because at the end of the day, two quick tries and then all of a sudden we have a game in the last 10 minutes.
$28 points to 10. Moore. Oh, Corrigan. Playing it back. Bennett. Going to kick inside their own 40. Fielded here by Kurt Field. 30 metres out from his own goal line. This is Roberts. His shorts being pulled up for everyone to see his no tan, I guess. The solariums are a no-go area these days too. This is Tupu putting it down. Stromel pack down, right on the halfway line.
Well, this is the perfect chance now for Central Coast to put the final nail in the coffin here. They have been the dominant team all afternoon, but they can actually put this to bed with a try off this set of 6.
So time off here. Got a bit of a blood bin coming up for our second rower. So both sides just having a bit of a breather here. With an 18-point buffer. So both teams just locking horns as the ball comes out through Moore. He finds Wright. Woodley. Back then out to Tuaki. Put away there by Apps. Woodley again. Fitzpatrick. Ball comes out the back. This is Adams. Flicking it, weaving. This is Nelson. Darting, looking to go himself. Does exactly that. 12 metres out from the Stars goal line. Back to Corrigan. Spinning it from left to right. This is Deves. Back to Woodley. Now to Moore. They're up quickly on him. Last tackle now for the Central Coast. Back to Woodley. Goes from dummy half. Touched and into touch. So it's come off a Southern Stars finger here, Matt. It was touched as the referee has signalled. So they'll get the ball back here, the Central Coast.
Well, it makes you wonder whether he needed to play it at all. It looked to be heading towards the sideline anyway. So he may be a bit unfortunate again for the Great Southern Stars, but it gives Central Coast great field position again to go on the attack.
Now Alex Moore, the Steedon in hand with the logo of the CRL in hand. Finding through Fitzpatrick, away to right, takes them on. And D's in there to put him into the ground. Back to Nielsen. He finds Heath. 28 points to 10. Inside the last 8 minutes here. On the Country Rugby League scoreboard. Burrell. Back to Tuaki. Moore. Corrigan. Ten metres away. Deeves. Back to Tuaki. Held in the tackle. Scooting from dummy half. Back on the inside. And Jordan Deeves crashes over once more for the Central Coast.
That was an excellent play there. They were able to just flick the ball back for the prop forward in Jordan Deeves to crash over, but that's really been the difference today between the two teams. The Central Coast have been able to take their chances. They've got back-to-back sets down on the line of the Great Southern Stars, and they've ended up with a 4-pointer, whereas when the Great Southern Stars had all the momentum probably about 5 minutes ago, they just couldn't get any points. So the Central Coast should be happy with today's performance, and the coach now be able to take some momentum into the game in the fortnight against Illawarra.
So Fitzpatrick, no rush, as we've only got 7 minutes to go in the match. Winner goes through to play Illawarra on the 13th of June at a venue yet to be determined by the CRL. This is Fitzpatrick. Looks good. It's a goal. So the scoreboard just keeps on ticking over for the Central Coast. 34 points to 10 with 6 minutes to go. So the Stars, what do they have to do you think, Matt, to regroup? Of course, they'll be going through in a few weeks' time as well.
Yep. Well, after this round, they play in the Tier 2 competition. The winners will obviously go through and play in Tier 1, and the losers of this week and next week will go through to Tier 2. So the Great Southern Stars, unfortunately, today's loss means they will be in Tier 2 and will await the winner of next weekend between Northern Regions and the Riverina.
So 5 minutes to go in this match. This is Nelson chiming in from fullback. Back from Woodley. Now this is Munro. Munro, good run. 38 metres away from the Stars goal line. Back to Moore, kicking. Flying through is LeBrock. Joel Roberts, the fullback from the Stars, sees the ball go over the dead ball line. So 5 minutes to go in the first half here, with Peter Jolly and Matt Sherrington coming out of a chilly Foster Tuncurry, up around 16, 17 degrees here. Wind blowing across the field as well, I guess with the chill factor. Back to Snell, workhorse. Forward, this is D, back to Roberts, supports on his left, finds Ford, and he'll race away and score. to the left-hand side of the post, and they're over the chalk once more. It's 34-14 with a kick to come.
Well, Nathan Ford really has been the standout in a losing side for the Great Southern Stars. He's created several runs and chances, and his passing game has been pretty good. So it's fitting that he would come away now with a double, 2 tries in this match now. So it's some consolation for him, I suppose, but I guess he would rather have got the win today.
Oh, every player loves to get across the chalk, but just unfortunately, when you're down by 20-point margin, it's not as sweet. So Joel Roberts lining up the ball. 12 metres out from the coast goal line. Looks good. Touchies enjoy it just as much as the fans and everyone here at Foster Tuncurry. So 2.5 minutes to go before full time. The Central Coast leading by 34 points to 16. So back now to the halfway line. Don't forget, hashtag CRL, get in contact with us here on social media throughout the week. Go across to the relevant Facebook and Instagram sites and let us know what you think of Game 1 of the Amy Country Championships for 2015. This is Josh Kent. Shearer in there from the coast. Tackling in numbers, aren't they? They're not dropping off tackles, the Central Coast, and that's a good sign for Jamie Ford and his squad to go forward in coming weeks in this competition. Back to Ford, now across to D, kicking inside his own 40, but I think that might have gone out on the full. It has gone out on the full.
Well, again, the Great Southern Stars just couldn't quite read the breeze then. The kick across field just had too much power. The breeze just picked that up and took that over the line. I guess it's their story of the afternoon, just luck hasn't gone their way.
So Woodley finds Burrell. 90 seconds to go. Game 1 of week 1. Our next match, of course, coming up is Canberra versus the North Coast Dolphins. Be able to watch that match on the Simpret link on the CRL website. 34 points to 16 here on the Country Rugby League scoreboard. Comes back then out of Moore. Offloading the pass, and Alex Moore's after his second of the game. He's about to get it. He goes over for Central Coast. Now it's 38 to 16 with 30 seconds to go in the match.
Well, it's fitting that Alex Moore would go over for that try. He's really been the standout for his side today. He's been able to create pretty much all of the tries and all of the chances. But having said that, Troy Adams has impressed me from the lock. He's really had a high workload today, and he's almost been like a second 5'8" for them. He's been able to get in there in attack and be able to pass the ball. So for me, I don't know who to split between Troy Adams and Alex Moore for man of the match.
Well, as you said, Central Coast from the get-go, definitely played the most impressive football, and that's reflective on the scoreboard. But take nothing away from the Greater Southern Stars from the Group 6, 7 and 16 competition. Here's the kick, looks okay, and it's converted. So that's full time here between the Central Coast and the Greater Southern Stars from Game 1 of Week 1 of the Amy Senior Country Championships.
Nice. Nurse?
Sexy nurse.
What's Matty going as?
Trevor! Trevor's in the trees!
I got this.
Accidents can be chaotic. Luckily, you can capture exactly what happened with our Amy Access app.
You can come down now, Neil.
I don't think I can.
You're with Amy.